Hello there, I'm back again. Today I've got a Jinhao 92. And I had to double check that because I am losing track of all the numbers of various different, well, not just Chinese, but probably particularly Chinese pens. Lots of numbers involved, a few names. Thanks, Bill. Yeah, he still thinks he's a chicken. So Jinhao 92. Excuse me. I'm not sure if this is based on anything. Most Jinhaos are usually based on another pen model. I'm not, if I'm honest, one for exhaustive research. I did a quick Google search and I couldn't really see anything. When I say quick, it was about 30 seconds ago. But yeah, it's kind of grabbed my eye. I think I got it off AliExpress. It's about £5 or something. Presumably varies a bit if you shop around. But let's take a look at Jinhao 92. So, clip has a nice little bill there. Not you. Not you. Has a nice little bill kind of upturn there. Otherwise, it's reasonably stiff, but quite functional. And it is a screw cap, which unscrews in just over a turn, which is quite nice. Two real metal and chrome finish section, and a number 5 Jinhao fine steel nib, and a plastic feed. And you've got kind of black. It's not kind of black, is it? It's black. Really got to iron out these little bits in my speech. So you've got a black, I want to say, guilloche-esque finished. Correct me if I'm completely bastardizing that. It's crisscross, right? Which is quite nice. Adds a bit of texture in there. So it's quite a soft feel. It's not like leather-esque or anything like that, but it's kind of your softer plastic feel with that patterning, adding a nice bit of texture in there. Quite pleasant. You've got kind of nurdled ring before a faux blind cap. End finial is nice shiny chrome. And the top finial of the cap, it kind of looks like it should have, I don't know, a jewel or some kind of stamp or branding in there, but it doesn't. It's just plain. I don't know, maybe a little jewel in the top there might be nice, or a little finial coin, don't know. 2 ridges on the cap there. This is a cartridge converter pen, which comes with Jinhao converter included, friction fit push pull converter. You've got a little O-ring there just to cushion the closure. It's a metal bodied pen, so there's a nice little bit of weight on there, and you've got metal threads onto metal threads. A little bit rattly on the threads, but once you get to that O-ring and squeeze that closed, it's nice and there's no rattle there. Okay, measurements of this pen. So you have 134.6, 123.2, and 162 millimeters capped, uncapped, and posted. Respect. Words gone. They've all gone. All the words. You know what I mean? In that order. Weight. Capped, you have 41.1 grams, uncapped 27, and the cap itself is 14. So there's a little bit of heft in the cap there. It does post, by the way, just onto that kind of blind cap, so it doesn't post very deeply, and that cap will add a little bit of weight on the back there, make it a little bit long for me anyway. But I find that's a decent length unposted, and it doesn't add any girth into the web of my hand by posting that. So yeah, barrel is consistent at 11.5 all along there, and the section is 10.8 up here, and just an ever so slight taper into 10.5, but that in itself is pretty consistent as well. The cap threads here are nice and smooth, not intrusive, sharp in any way, so you could hold that back a bit if you wanted to, and that wouldn't bother me. Shall we look at it next to some other pens? So to compare with some other pens, you have a Jinhao 92, you have a TWSBI Eco, you have a Wingsung 629, which is about Mont Blanc 146 size, Asfine P30. Over here you have a Jinhao 75 and a Jinhao 95. Yep, Jinhao 95. And Leonardo Mometis del Grande, Wingsung 699, Wingsung 630, and Oto Magna Classic. So slightly smaller than, I don't know, your bog standard. Haven't got the Safari in here today. We'll use the Eco as a kind of bog standard pen length. So it's a little bit shorter and it's on your thinner side for girth. So I'm going to do a writing sample. Now, I'm just going to do something. I'm going to uncap this pen and I'm going to leave it with Bill for a second, and that may become relevant in a second, okay? So, writing sample. Bring that in a bit and try and focus that up. Sometimes more successfully than others. So what do we have here today? We have a Jinhao 92 with a fine nib, fine steel nib. Ink is Diamine Bilberry. I don't use enough actually. I really like this ink. So it's nice and smooth. Little bit of feedback, but in a in what I would call a pleasant way. So it's not glassy smooth, but there's a bit of feedback there. Try it quick. So it keeps up okay. No skips or hard starts in there. Wetness. Not that wet, but not dry. But decent enough flow for a number 5 steel fine nib. Line variation. You can squeeze a bit out there. It's pretty stiff, so you can get a bit, just be careful. It does wetten that up a little bit. Yeah, I find this nib keeps going very nicely when you're writing, and I had that capped, so before I did the writing sample, I had that capped for, I want to say, about a week. And that has, as you can see, a tiny weeny hard start there, but other than that, that started straight up, and that is fine. But sometimes, if I am doing a couple of notes, or maybe copying something, or I don't know, doing some facts and figures at work or something like that. So basically what I'm saying is I'll pause a lot in between writing a word or two or some facts and figures, probably around about the time that I've been chatting away and waving this around. See, there is a purpose to things. Sometimes I find, which it won't do now, that it won't start up. But sometimes I do find that. It's usually about the amount of time I've been talking there. Maybe because I've just flexed a bit of ink flow through there. But just full disclosure, sometimes I do get some hard starts if I've got it uncapped. If I've got it capped, it does seal very well and usually starts up straight away. I don't have any issues with that per se. It's not going to do it now at all. Never mind. That was the reason that I put this over there with Bill, because I know that this one starts up every time if I leave it out. Just was going to be a comparison, but it's all pointless now because you performed on camera, didn't you? You little drama queen. Unbelievable. Anyway, that is the writing sample. Oh, sorry, forgot. Just for those who like it. Reverse. It's a bit scratchy. It will do it, but it's a bit scratchy. So, what do I think about the Jinhao 92? Well, I quite like it actually. It's a bit on the focus. It's a bit on the thinner side for my usual, but I find that because it's kind of got that metal body, so there's a little bit of extra weight in there. I find that actually sits quite pleasantly. I find the section comfy. I suppose, I don't know, I'm on the fence. I like a bigger nib. It's just me, and it's just an aesthetical choice. It doesn't affect the function or anything like that. Would I like a number 6 nib on there? Yeah, I would, but would it then look disproportionate? I don't know. I think maybe even if it was slightly more set out, I kind of go, I just like a bigger nib in there. But fair enough, because, you know, comparative size and all of that, that's just me. I find the feel of the barrel very pleasant. If you were sitting around running your fingers across that and fiddling, that's a nice pleasant feel. You've got that guilloche esque kind of crisscross micro pattern in there, which is nice. I like this nurdle on the barrel. I actually really like the pen. I think the only thing that stops me using it a bit more is just that thing, which obviously didn't do it. You didn't do it, did you, this time? Where it just, if I'm doing notes and whatnot and I pause for 30 seconds, a minute, it does hard start on me, which is a bit annoying. But, you know, you're going to get potluck with the nib from time to time. It does write. Once I'm writing, it writes well. So I can't kick up too much of a fuss over it, I suppose. I just feel like this end finial is lacking something. It feels like it should have a coin or maybe a jewel or something in there. I don't know. Nitpicking. But other than that, it performs very well. It cost me about £5 from AliExpress. I want to say that included delivery, but I'm not sure. It might have been an extra £1 or £2 for delivery. I would have to go back and check my order. But I think it's a nice little daily writer. It's a nice everyday carry. It's not going to stress you out if you lose it or something like that. But it's a good solid pen. It feels good in the hand, even though that's a bit thinner than my usual. So it's a nice little buy and a nice little find. If anyone knows if this is based on anything, do let me know in the comments, because I like I say, I didn't really see anything. But then I didn't look that hard. So let me know, I'm just curious. But it's a nice little functional pen. If you like that little bit of weight, but not a great big girthy pen, this might be the one for you. Hope you've enjoyed this. Have a good day. Take it easy. Bye-bye.